You will hear people claim that blow drying is better for the hair than air drying. I remember seeing a post on Instagram stating that water was damaging your hair. Some people have gone as far as telling naturals to stop using water-based products. This type of rhetoric can lead to hair damage for many type 4 naturals. Due to sebum not fully coating our strands, inner strand water easily evaporates. When you understand how water works within hair, you can determine which is better for you. A major trait about water is that it wants to evaporate. How well the inner strand water content is maintained for afro hair will determine how quickly the hair becomes dehydrated. The evaporation process is similar to a bell curve with 3 main points. Let's consider this curve the hair's water cycle. This will show you how your hair responds to the water applied, and how to avoid dehydration. The hair's water cycle begins with soaking wet hair. Your hair has an ample supply of water for hydration. Your hair needs to be soaking wet when you are getting ready to shampoo or rinse out a product. Since water evaporates at room temperature, once you remove the water source, the hair begins to dry. Hair does not stay soaking wet in open air. This leads to hair being hydrated. When the external water evaporates, and the hair no longer feels wet to the touch, you're left with internal water. This water is what keeps the hair elastic and pliable. Maintaining hydrated hair keeps the hair soft. If the inner strand water is allowed to evaporate, your hair begins to dehydrate. This is the danger zone for afro hair. Manipulating dehydrated strands can lead to strand splits, caused by friction, and ultimately breakage. The 3 phases of the hair water cycle actually occur in a range. With soaking wet, you can go from the hair actively dripping to feeling damp. Dampness is the transition into inner strand hydration. You'll feel this when you add your leave-in. As the water continues to evaporate, your hair will feel dry to the touch but very soft. This is the ideal balance of water content and moisture for your hair. You have to actively maintain this amount of water in the hair. If you sense your hair is edging towards dehydration, you don't have to go back to the soaking wet stage, as in wash day, but you do have to go back to the beginning of the hydration range, where your hair is hydrated but damp. And as the water evaporates, you'll get back the ideal water level softness. The main difference between air drying and blow drying is time. Specifically the time it takes your hair to enter the dehydration range. Air drying allows water evaporation to occur naturally, so it can take up to 4 days to enter the dehydration range. Because blow drying uses some level of heat, the inner strand water will evaporate much faster, pushing your hair closer to dehydration sooner. That means, you will have to rehydrate, or wash your hair sooner, in order to maintain its water content. Make sure you're able to identify what these water level transitions feel like. It'll tell you if you have too much, or too little water in your hair. At this point, your hair will feel cold. At this point it feels stiffer, and is harder to stretch. It's at this point many naturals say, "My hair feels dry, but wash day is soon, so I'll wait until then to hydrate my hair." That mentality is very damaging to your hair. Your hair cannot wait for water. You must maintain ideal hydration at all times.